No, not yet. I was like, well, that needs to get okay. To freeze the school. I remember my school. I'm like, I don't like this.
All right. I'm just going to do an intro. And then we're going to go. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming here. This is our Rutherford County Democratic Party County Commission District 21 Candidate Forum. That's a mouthful, but I got it out. Right. I don't know all the history of Rutherford County elections, but at least in recent history, Rutherford County has never had a Democratic primary for a local election like this. And this is a first. We're super excited. We have two great candidates here tonight. We've got Ashley Benkarski and Dr. Laura Clark. They're both here to answer questions. And, you know, that's pretty much it. That's what we're gonna do. So anyway, I forgot to introduce myself. I think I forgot to introduce myself. Yeah, I'm Matt Fee. I'm the chair of the Democratic Party here in Rutherford County. And thank you everyone for being here tonight. Really appreciate it.
I think you should sit behind them in that middle chair.
No. I'm going to be off camera.
What's happening?
I forgot to ask you guys who wants to go first.
Actually, you go first. Okay. I thank you, Laura. Okay.
All
Well,
right, so
yeah.
So we'll start out. Yeah. So we'll start out with some opening statements from each candidate. You get 3 minutes, and Ashley Benkarski will go first.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Ashley Benkarski. I am obviously running to be County Commissioner for District 21. I was born here in Murfreesboro, grew up in Warren County, and then came back here to settle down, go to school, put roots in the ground, which I did. And yeah, I worked as like a Pizza Hut delivery driver for most of my time here. So a lot of you have probably had a pizza delivered to me, or not from me. I wish I delivered to myself. That'd be great. But yeah, I also went to MTSU, and I was majoring in journalism for a while, found a love for sociology, and kind of pivoted and went to that. So I also worked as a freelance journalist for about 5 to 6 years with the Tennessee Tribune, a local paper that's still in print. I shout them out every chance I get. Mrs. Rosetta Miller Perry, I hope you're seeing this. And right now what I do is I organize tenants. I'm a community organizer, and I organize tenants to advocate for themselves to get better living conditions. And yeah, I'm running because I just wanted to see some change in the county. I think we all can agree that things are not going great on a lot of fronts, and be the change that you want to see in the world, right? So that's why I'm here.
Laura Clark's my name. I am a native Tennessean, but I grew up in Memphis. And so, born in Memphis, grew up in Memphis, got married in Memphis, started having my family in Memphis, did all that. And along the way, I was teacher and a principal. And then completed my doctorate at Vanderbilt, driving to Vanderbilt while principaling back in the Memphis area. So it was like a commuting doctorate. And it took about 4 years to do that. But when I finished that, I came up here and took a position at MTSU as a professor in the College of Education. And I taught for a while. And then they asked me to put my principal hat back on, and they appointed me as an administrator in the College of Education. So I do that now. Bottom line is, I teach, and I'm an educator, and educators are servant leaders, period. Educators are the second most important person in a person's life after their parents, because people spend so many hours of every day. Children spend so many hours of every day with educators. It's important stuff. You can have the negative impact, the positive impact, you can have a lifelong impact. So education is my work. And in the midst of all that, though, I'm a mom of 3, a grandmother. I'll tell you later of how many, but there's a lot. And they energize me, and I love them. And I'm also, how many minutes, Matt?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Civic engagement has been a lens of mine. I don't know why exactly, but it has been a lens of mine. I can document when I was in 2nd grade, and I wrote a jingle for the current presidential election and made posters and put it on the walls of 2nd grade and tried to convince my classmates of who they needed to vote for in this presidential election. And since that time, I've been interested, engaged, and a believer in the political process. Yes, do we get criminals and fraudsters through it? Yes, we do. But do we get good government, and is that the potential for it? Absolutely. And so that is my lens to look at what is the political process, what is the potential, and that's how I want to engage with it. I'm running because this is, it's Shanto Sereno's retiring. He has been an honorable servant for 16 years, and the seat is open. I have his support. And I have, I'll tell you later what I've done after turning in petition and qualifying. So thank you for this opportunity, Matt Fee, tonight.
You're welcome. So now we're going to move into the question portion. We'll alternate back and forth between who goes first. So Laura, you'll go first on this question.
Okay.
What is the biggest issue facing Rutherford County today? And you get 2 minutes on the questions.
One word answer. Anybody want to guess? Growth. So to elaborate on that, with growth comes more people, the need for more housing, more traffic, more children in schools, more portable buildings in schools while we don't have the funding or the resources to build new classrooms in schools, more sicknesses that need health care. Growth brings a lot of things inherent in growth. So the biggest problem in Rutherford County is we are a center, a destination for so many people, and we have massive growth happening. We haven't caught up with it. It's really difficult for any entity, any governmental entity, to actually predict and be ahead of growth. Did we have an idea? Yes, but I don't think anyone could have predicted. So growth is the biggest problem as I see it, and all of the implications and ramifications that come with growth. To answer your question, growth.
Very good. Ashley, same question.
Absolutely growth, but to nail it down a little further, I would say affordability is the biggest issue. It's something that I hear time and time again at the doors, and we've actually knocked about 2,000 of those. Doesn't mean we've talked to 2,000 people. We've talked to a lot of folks, and affordability is the number one thing that comes out of their mouth, cost of living. And so what we have seen is like unfettered growth, and we have a system right now that is just working for, in my opinion, wealthy interests, billionaires or developers, real estate agents, real estate companies, and the normal everyday person that doesn't make a whole lot of money gets left out in that process. So affordability is a huge issue. And I think that with the way that, as Laura said, it's hard to plan for such a thing, we need very strong, and I think new ideas. So one thing that I've been thinking about is a community land trust, which basically allows like a nonprofit or possibly the county to purchase the land and then a vacant lot. And then the housing on that stays affordable for 99 years. Mm-hmm. And it basically allows people to get a hand up. It's another way of looking at affordable housing. So there's a lot of things we can do. And unfortunately, a lot of things that we can't do because of state preemption laws. But I think even if there are things that we can't do due to state preemption laws, even if we are county commissioners, we still should lend our voice to some of the issues and push other elected officials to take action.
Ashley, this next question is for you to go first. What is your biggest critique of the current leadership in the county commission? And if elected, how do you plan to correct it?
So I have a lot of critiques. I think one of the biggest ones is I think the lack of engagement from some of the people that are currently sitting on the commission. The scrolling of phones when business should be being conducted, and yet we tell our kids that they can't have phones in schools. You know, what are we modeling is my question there. Also, I think that, again, we've got a problem with too many moneyed interests, like developers who stand to benefit from the growth that we've both spoken about. We don't have people like myself and Laura who are working like class people with that lived experience on these like councils and commissions. So that's like a huge thing for me is I just think that we need people who are like actually living the experience of what this growth is causing and how we're dealing with it. Like we need those voices at the table. So that's my biggest thing.
No, I'll talk better when I stand up. So that's what I can think better. My biggest critique right now, the leadership on the current county commission, and I've been attending county commissions since August 2024, when I decided I needed to know more about it. I've been going to the meetings and the committee meetings, watching, listening, and assessing. In my opinion, the biggest the critique I have is we have too many who are seeking to maintain the status quo and do not have an open mind to consider new ideas or new ways of looking at things. And it's either related to age of some, and I can say it because I'm old, or it's related to the fact that they are native to the county and want to maintain how it's always been, you know, that phrase, well, it's always been like that. And in a vibrant, growing, thriving, changing city, we have to be open to change, even if you've lived here your whole life. So to me, that is the biggest drawback in the current county commission.
Okay. Next question, Laura, you'll go first. What is your stance on 287G?
I oppose it, excuse me.
And how will you work to reassure and protect all communities in Rutherford County?
I oppose 287G on this premise. Immigration enforcement is a federal function. It is not the function of local law enforcement. It never has been. 287G has been operable since the 90s. Nashville engaged in it for a while, and then the Voices, of which I was one, it went away in Nashville, but it's been here in the first phase since the 90s, and then just recently added phase 2. I oppose 287G. Our local law enforcement has enough to do managing the data, managing the systems, the employees, the processes of local law enforcement without taking on the job of federal government. And plus, I have worked for 20 plus years in immigration advocacy in Middle Tennessee, and my friends, my family are impacted by the craziness going on right now. Thank God it's not happening out of control like it is in other places, but it is happening. It's happening in my neighborhood. And now that's ICE. That is not our local law enforcement. It's ICE. But it's 287G should not be happening here. The federal government should be doing it, period.
Ashley?
So absolutely, 287G has no place in our communities. It has no place being anything that we are partnering with. It makes our communities less safe. I know that I'm really tired of seeing ICE drive around our neighborhood. I'm tired of having to call my neighbors. And it's not crazy here because we have an administration, and I don't mean like the president, but I mean like our state legislature approves of it. And so right now, it looks really dire, and it looks like it's something that even if we wanted to be voluntary about it, it still wouldn't matter. But I think that no matter what the case on that is, we need to be very vocal and saying that we don't agree with this. It is not constitutional what's happening. It's not moral what's happening. And it's honestly not fiscally responsible. So, it is a drain on our resources. And again, it makes our community so much less safe when people are scared to even come out of their homes. And I don't want us to see the next Renee Good or Alex Preddy. And I think that we should be putting pressure, the commission should be putting pressure on the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department to end this agreement by looking at the drain on resources it has.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, both of you. So Ashley, you'll get the next question. Rutherford County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state. Who do you feel is benefiting from the growth, and who is getting left behind?
You know what I'm going to say. So the wealthy and the developers, people who stand to make money off of the growth that is occurring in our county, those are the people that are benefiting. The people that are left out, I would imagine, is everybody in this room and a whole lot more. If you are a working class citizen, this was one of my biggest critiques as well, was a lot of people didn't even seem to know what Plan Rutherford was, and that it was something that was being codified. And so now we're kind of seeing a kind of a halt to that process. There's actually something going on right now at the same time that is talking about how this will be impacting rural counties. I don't think we should have gotten to this point. This should have been something that I know our commissioner wanted to say, oh, mailers are too expensive. Figure it out. There are things that we can do to make sure our citizens are informed. So point blank period, it's people who have power and it's people who are wealthy. And oftentimes those go hand in hand. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Would you restate the question, please?
Yep. Rutherford County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state. Who do you feel is benefiting from that growth, and who is getting left behind?
Developers are benefiting from the growth for sure. And I would say that is the largest group that is benefiting from the growth that's currently happening in our county. There are actually some other beneficiaries of it, and they are some small businesses benefit from it, some larger businesses benefit. Anything that generates more sales taxes benefits the government. So there are some benefits to growth, but there are some people who get left behind, and they are the people whose income does not give enough resources to your family life to afford to pay for what you need here, namely housing, but it also goes into other things. Growth also impacts schools. The public schools are in a unique and unenviable position of opening their doors and saying, whoever comes, we take. And that's the beauty of public education. But logistically, imagine if you're a principal and you don't know how many kids are coming till they show up, and that's who you serve, and that's who you have to staff, and that's who you have to feed. So kids at schools sometimes get left behind in growth because it is overwhelming. Is that it? Okay.
Oh, where did I leave off? I can't find it. There it is. Dr. Clark, this next question will be for you first.
Okay.
Speaking of growth, the county budget has grown significantly in recent years, but employee pay and public services have not kept pace. What would be your budget priorities on the county commission?
So on my website is already a statement about this, and it is, we need more parity in the salaries of anyone paid by county money. That includes, I'll talk about teachers in a minute. That includes law enforcement, firefighters, government employees, and any healthcare workers that work through the health department, anyone paid with public money in the county. Generally speaking, if a comparable job exists in Murfreesboro city government, and we all live here together, right? But if a comparable job exists there and comes open, often a person will leave Rutherford County and go take the city job because almost always it pays more. Within our county, we should have parity within the county. And so it's grown because there's more taxes coming in, which is a benefit, but teacher salaries. I've done a comparison of teacher salaries in surrounding counties. We're comparable, but except for Metro Nashville. Metro Nashville pays way more, and teachers leave Rutherford County to go to Metro Nashville. I know an outstanding school counselor who left this year, left Rutherford to go to Metro. So we need some more parity there. We have one of the best public school systems in the state. We need to pay them like that.
Same questions?
Same
Yeah.
question?
So absolutely, the difference is appalling, and I know that our first responders at the county work just as hard as the people in the city do. There's no reason why a school teacher at the county could get paid more as an assistant general manager at Pizza Hut. That's abysmal. It's disrespectful, and a budget is a moral document. What we spend our money on is what our priorities are, and I think it's clear that our priorities are not focused on teachers and schools and education right now like it should be, and it's definitely not focused on our working class people. So absolutely agree with what Dr. Clark said on that.
We're in agreement on a lot of stuff.
Ashley, you're first on this question. When you become county commissioner, how do you plan to keep the people of District 21 informed on the issues, and how accessible will you be to your constituents?
Again, we can find money for mailers, but if they tell me that we can't, and I was going to plan on doing this anyway, I want to keep canvassing. It's what I do for a living. I love it. I love meeting people where they are and figuring out what their issues are and seeing how I can get them plugged into a way to help. So I will just expand that beyond a tenant focus. But yeah, I would like to find ways to have like office hours on my days off of my normal 40+ hour a week job. And also community surveys, making sure that if something like Plan Rutherford is coming down the pike, if something that affects your tax dollars or affects you is coming down the pike, that there's a place like that we could announce where people would be able to join, have a discussion about it, maybe have some food and break bread together and figure out how is this going to impact us and how do we brace for impact and how do we react, So that is the biggest thing, is just getting more involved in our community. As I've been knocking, and I can tell you this, the first time anybody's ever knocked on my door was you, Laura. That's been for any public office, period. So it's abysmal what our people have been locked out of. I think it's very anti-working class. The hours for meetings are awful. And then, we have sometimes meetings just get canceled with no notice. So yeah, we have got to do more to be in the community And we can't just sit by and wait for people to vote for us the next time around and hope it works, because that's not how people aren't ready. Don't want that anymore.
When you become county commissioner, how do you plan to keep the people of District 21 informed on the issues, and how accessible will you be to your constituents?
So, talking about the canvassing, I too, it's been a most wonderful experience. I have loved it. And in these conversations, I get the sense of what people really care about. And so I have personally knocked on the doors of 1,030 voters. With these knuckles, my knuckles got sore one weekend because of knocking. And I have personally talked to the voters in the houses of 716 voters because I wanted to personally meet them. And so the personal contact for me is the way to stay in touch. And my intention is to have a monthly opportunity to talk. Hope, preferably in a spot where we're all together and we can sit and talk, and whoever wants to shows and talks. We can't do it, we can Zoom it sometimes, but the monthly touching base is how I would like to stay in contact. It is the time when people can say what they want to say, go face to face, and make it personal. This personal contact that I've had with this hundreds of people in these last few weeks has been one of the most energizing and reinforcing things I've done recently in my life, because we've got good people, y'all, good people in our community. And I know that's true for every district. And it's been just a gift to me. So how would I stay in contact? Talking to them and meeting with them.
We are flying through this. So this next question, I'm not gonna lie, is an issue that is near and dear to my heart for a very long time. 8 members of the Rutherford County Library Board voted to fire the director, Luann James. The county commission appointed 3 of those votes. Because of the way Tennessee law works, removing them mid-term is very difficult. So, what responsibility do you take for who sits on that board or any other board? And how would you evaluate candidates before voting for any nominee to avoid these types of situations? Yeah, yes, sorry.
That was a tragedy, what happened with Luann. And expected, but still it was terrible. In a position where I would be involved in screening for positions, first of all, if I'm going to be interviewing anyone for a position on something, first of all, I'm going to know what the heck that committee does and what are any prior issues that have come up. In recent years, not a lot of controversy has come up with the library board until, I don't mean recent, but prior to these recent things. But now we have it. So to know what are the landmines already in this committee, in this area of that work, and to be ready to ask questions of the applicants. How would you handle this? What do you foresee as any problems that you might encounter if placed on this board? So for me to get an idea of where they stand on some important issues, I usually ask a question. If I'm interviewing someone for a job, I will ask a question that gives me some idea of where their not morality, but their character and integrity lie, about how they would reply to a situation. So I would ask questions specific to the committee and more general to get a sense of who are they and how do they approach decisions in terms of their integrity. That's how I would approach it.
So, first of all, I would like to say that the only danger to our library system is Cody York. The cost of what he's doing to our county is going to be just ridiculous. And I think we have seen a really drastic overreach from just this one man. The things that have been done, the removal of the AOLA codes of ethics and things, it kind of just, and saying that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is our new code of ethics or whatever. It's unconscionable. So I think first and foremost, we need to investigate Cody York and
Yes.
call for him to be removed.
Yes.
And I think we need to reinstate, if we could do that, we need to reinstate the ALA's codes and policy recommendations, because throwing those out the window does nothing to make our kids safe. And again, yes, any applicant, I would hold them to those standards and ask if they agree with those, or if they also think that they are just some special interest, anti-Christian, whatever policy. So, yeah, I would absolutely call for an investigation in Cody York, first and foremost.
Ashley, first for you. This is a short question, but feel free to elaborate. 3 words, summarize your candidate.
Well, I may want to keep it brief. I don't like public speaking, as you can tell, I'm shaking. But I will say, for me, it's always been about affordability, accessibility, and accountability. And when you really distill all that down, what that means is working families first, like you can see on these shirts up here, from all the amazing people that have believed in me and poured their time into my message. So yes, working families first. And if I need to elaborate on that, please hit me up after this forum. We'll pass it to you.
The reason I stand up is when I was principal of a middle school, if I had to talk with a middle school boy, if I didn't stand up, I was looking up at him. So it's like a habit I have, so I'm standing up. Connected to constituents. Those are my 3 words. What I have learned, what I started this campaign assuming, was that I needed to go make my case to constituents on the issues, which the issues are important to me. But they, far and above, in the 716 conversations I had, they weren't concerned with the issues. They were concerned about how government affects their lives. And so I quit very early on, bringing up any of my issues. And I said, tell me what's on your mind. And I introduced myself. I said, tell me what's on your mind. And so what I learned was the things that bother them and how to help them. And on the things that affect their lives directly, that we can actually do something about. Now, today, there are some major issues, and affordability is one, that is a long haul solution. It is not an immediate solution. There are some potential solutions for it. I've met with planning department, right? I've met with city planning. I'm going to meet with county planning to talk about what does the housing situation look like, because I want to know, how do we solve it? Because we can all agree on saying what bothers us, but can we do anything about it? So connected to constituents are my 3 words, because that's how I will know what's bothering them and can I help them with it. That's my 3 words.
That's actually the end of my questions. Can you believe that? It felt like so fast. I didn't feel fast for you guys though, I don't know. With that, we can move into just a closing statement from each. Laura, we'll let you go first, and Ashley, you can wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had a box and I didn't see any.
Oh, I don't know.
We didn't know what that was.
So there we go.
Nobody saw
We can open the
You
floor.
want to open up the floor
Open
for
the floor.
a handful? Okay, well, let's go.
Actually, from both of you. So we talk about the issues on the commission. We talk about let's be honest, Republicans versus the minuscule Democrats. So, but to get things done, you just can't go in and pick an argument every day, right? Because they'll go nowhere. So my question is, how are you going to build a relationship on the council in order to be heard and then eventually get things done? Actually, first.
You can start with me. Well, they're going to have to kind of meet me. And I say that because as an open democratic socialist, I don't expect a lot of work from anybody. So what I can say is the issues that I do believe in, the things that I have had people tell me, and I have talked to Democrats, Republicans, Independents, never voters. And I am someone that, like I said, I work with tenants. I grew up being working class. I've been like I said, Pizza Hut delivery driver for a long time. And I truly believe that no matter what I do, in a lot of cases, I'm just going to get pushback just because of who I am and what I'm running under. But I encourage anybody who has doubts about me and that big scary socialism word to talk to me, because I'm not so scary, am I? Not scary. Yeah, I just simply believe that our tax dollars should be going to what actually helps people. And I think everybody can get on that. So maybe it's incendiary to say things like investigate Cody York, but in my opinion, it's the right thing to do. And if we continue to just concede to them and hope that they will vote along with us when they don't have any good faith effort in actually doing that, I think a lot of people can tell you, you make concessions and then they don't vote for your thing. And then you've lost. So I would like to bring that Overton window back to the left. And that's what I'm here for.
The county commission is not the first place that politics drive the relationships. I've been in families, I've been in schools, I've been in communities and churches. Politics drives everything in one way or another. And so my approach to this is to find our areas of agreement and work from there, because ultimately I would like to find solutions over holding to my particular full set of issues and values. I would rather find a solution, not to compromise my value. Let me make that clear. But there's a spectrum upon which I can be okay in terms of how things are finally solved. And I'd like to move on that spectrum to find where can we come together and make an agreement. Otherwise, things never get done. Or in our case, in Democrats' case, things always go the way of the R's. So most solutions lie in the middle. I am comfortable in the left of the middle, and that's where I believe solutions can lie, and I can operate there.
I'll also say, it's not that I am asking everybody to adhere to what my personal beliefs are. I just know that, and I do this for a living, shared interest organizing. So if there is something that benefits the working class, I guarantee you Republicans will come along, and I wouldn't have to push that hard. So just putting that out there.
And see, I think that is a great way to think about it, because it's finding something on both sides of the political line that we can agree on. And I think there are actually quite a few of those things. So I think that's a great way to say it.
Yeah, but there are some things that we should not cede ground to, and that is
Right.
And people can talk to me
Yeah.
about what those things are.
But y'all, the beauty of it is that's why there's two of us running here, is because we're offering you two approaches. And listen, when Ashley and I first met, I said, "Girl, let's make history." First a contested Democratic primary and two women doing it, because we're giving you two choices, two different choices. That's a good thing. And I'm thrilled to be doing that with you, Ashley. Yeah.
All right, more questions. Tatiana.
This is a question for both of you because you are in a contested Democratic primary. If you lose the primary, how will you show support to the other individual that has taken the primary and is continuing on? And to follow up on that, how will you continue to serve the community? I'll let whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead. No, you were looking like you were ready to go.
I've already told Ashley I'm voting for her, and I'm supporting her, and I will make that public. If that is the outcome of this, I will make that public. Now, will I go to 716 houses? No, probably not. But I will make it public and let it be known. And what was the second part of?
How will you continue to serve this community?
Oh, that's a given. Win or lose, I'm going to be in the mix of serving the community. You know, commissioners can serve in one way and non-commissioners can serve in another way.
Amen.
And it's all civic engagement.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will continue to learn. I will continue to engage with public officials, which I'm doing now. I will continue to find the connections and the solutions and use my voice to the extent that anyone wants to listen. And that may or may not be true that anybody wants to listen.
Thank you.
And last, I will continue what I've done for 10 or 15 years, and that is educate students at MTSU on how to become civically engaged. I've taken them to the Hill at the state legislature. I've taken them to the commission. And that's an important bridge for us, for students coming out into their adult life to know how to civically engage.
Amen.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lauren and I, when we met, had that agreement that whoever wins this, the other will support them. So same. I'll knock those doors. I got you.
You're nicer than me, Ashley.
It's what I do. So yeah, and keeping myself like in the community, that's just, again, like you said, it's a given. I mean, I knock on tenants' doors for a living. It's what I do. So I am very proud to keep doing that. But here, you know, of course, staying involved in like the RCLA meetings, making sure that there are eyes on what's happening in our local government, trying to create ways to get people to come along with me. You know, how do we get people excited about what's going on? Or at least, maybe you're not excited, but
Engaged.
yes, engaged, because being here for the last 20 years, I've just seen it kind of go on this steady decline of corruption, waste, fraud, and pushing beliefs that not everybody holds onto everyone in the county. And I believe that if we don't stop that, then we're going to get worse. And I think the only way to stop that is to be civically engaged and be in community with each other. So I think that also means being a good neighbor. And, you know, I will continue to do my thing with Democratic Socialists of Murfreesboro, who get us plugged into mutual aid and feed our neighbors. and just a lot of other things that we do. So yeah, just making sure I'm volunteering my time, because if I'm not actually on commission, then I will have more time to dedicate to the community in a different way. So.
As unions are an important aspect of workers
Yes.
being able to manage their lives, how would you support public employees? How would you support existing unions? And this is for both of you. How would you support existing unions? How would you help workers treat their unions, and maybe a little bit about your experience with unions?
Well, I'm always going to advocate for workers, and that includes county workers. If you aren't in a union, start a union. I am a proud union member myself, and I cannot tell you what a blessing it is to have the back of people who are in the same boat as you. And it's amazing to see the things that we can do to protect each other, and the curveballs that we can foresee when we're all in conversation and saying, hey, did you see this? Did you, So my union experience has been amazingly positive. It's only been a 2-year experience because we live in the South. But union is not a dirty word. And it's honestly, in my opinion, the only way that we get forward as workers. So if you're not in a union and you can, join your union, and be proud and shout unions out. But yeah, I would absolutely, like, say county employees wanted to unionize, let's do it. Like, full-throated support. Absolutely.
My response is equally supportive. I have never been a member of a union, and I have only known people who are members of the union. But am I in support of unions? Absolutely. Because the union gives voice to those who may feel voiceless. And so my response is, if I have the opportunity, if I am aware of unions forming that are related to my work as a commissioner, I will support, and I'll do it publicly.
I just have a follow-up. Is there a union on campus that you could be a part of?
There have been efforts to form a union, but besides the efforts, no, there is not.
There is a union on campus.
Oh, I stand
It's the
corrected.
United Campus Workers.
That's who I was aware of efforts. Okay, so thank you for telling me that, and I learn it every day. Thank you,
Is there a reason
So-
maybe you're not?
because I wasn't aware of it.
But she's also an administrator. She's not a campus, technically doesn't meet the criteria of campus worker.
That makes
And-
sense.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
Expand the union.
But two,
Yeah.
in my personal life, other than the benefit of me giving an example, my work life has not. I have not felt the need to join a union. So I have not actively sought it out. But thank you for telling me that, and I know it now. Okay. And
Yeah, that was
that was a follow up for me. Okay.
Any other questions? We'll do 2 more, 1 and 2.
how engaged is great.
Yeah.
My question is, you guys talked a little about Plan Rutherford. I was actually wondering what your opinions on the actual plan were and how you would vote for it if you were a county commissioner.
Ashley first.
Okay. So right now, Plan Rutherford is really murky, and I am not a commissioner, and so I don't know all the ins and outs of like what the budget is. However, I am concerned with a lot of the loss of farmland that seems to be projected in the Plan Rutherford, and also very concerned, again, there's a literal town hall about this tonight that I wish I could be at, but I'm here with you guys, and that's great. Love y'all. About how Plan Rutherford would affect rural communities. I think there's just been a lot of vagueness. I don't think there's been a lot of openness and transparency about it, and I think you can see that even in our county website. But yeah, and it's a problem. It's a problem. You shouldn't have to ask me this question about like what's in it because we should kind of know. So yeah, I think that that's like for me, I would just like to protect the rural areas, but I do understand we need growth because it's going to happen either way. So rather than urban sprawl, we should be thinking about smarter growth and things like that.
Sorry, can I just ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is because I went to the county commission meeting where they were voting on this, and the people who went up against it were the developers and realtors.
Mm-hmm.
And from
Yeah.
when I went up,
Please,
sorry.
and then
So when
I
I was there, I looked at the plan and it seemed like it was more against urban sprawl. I don't know about the rural part, so you could totally be fair there. But it looked like it was limiting the developers on how many units they could put on an individual land.
Okay. I've read Plan Rutherford. I have attended planning commission meetings on it. I've attended the Public Works Committee meeting. I have attended the commission over a year and a half, and it's been brought up a number of times. There have been public forums over a few years for people to attend to give input, and it was lightly attended. My position on the current Plan Rutherford, which has been approved by the Rutherford County Planning Commission, but not approved by the County Commission, is that I support the current version of it. The developers objected to one point on it, and it was in the rural the plan has stages of land use, and there's a map that maps it out in color code. And on one of those stages, it allows one house per 5 acres. The developers wanted 2 houses per 5 acres. That is the single sticking point that is causing them to bring it back, and that's what that amendment they're talking about at tonight's meeting. And the commission was swayed by this one commissioner who wanted to do that, but they were swayed, but it was only a 1 or 2 vote difference in the vote. So here's the thing. If the commission votes to approve it, it gives more weight to the enforcement and the implementation. But the fact that the Planning Commission has already approved it allows the codes people to take that as the template, and they will implement the current Plan Rutherford. And so the question is, on that one segment, will they allow 2 houses instead of 1 to be put on that 5-acre plot? That's the difference. I've read it. It was thoughtfully written. Is it perfect? No, because it doesn't address water resources. It does not address water resources. But at this point in the process, that cannot be added right now. Can it be added before the next formal rewriting of Plan Rutherford? Yes, it can. And so that's what we have to look at. But I support it because I've read it and I've watched it happen.
Hi, my question is about Chanto Sereno. He's been our county commissioner for 20 some odd years.
16.
16.
Okay, I'm glad that was okay. What do you have to say about his reign as the county commissioner? Where would you have improved? What would you have done different? And overall, how are you going to run your own county?
Is it me first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chanto Sereno is one of the most honorable people I've ever met. And I stand on that, period. Now, there's been debate by people on his style of public service because he's real quiet. He's real quiet, and he typically does not initiate things. So in terms of his presence and impact on the commission, I'm not sure over his 16 years exactly what that looked like. I know what I've seen since August 2024, and his presence is quiet. He's involved in getting bills pushed forward, but where he has shown brightly is his responsiveness to constituents and his willingness to listen and get answers for constituents and his outreach to constituents. And his bridge to the Laotian community in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. So my comment about, I believe your question was about his time on the commission and his leadership and impact on the commission and his style of doing it. His style is quiet. His style is not to initiate things, but his style is also to be accessible to the people in District 21. So I support him. I support him.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I've tried to talk to him a few times and hasn't been very successful. As I said, Laura, you're the first person to ever knock on my door. Any candidate, I know Shanto never did. My other critique of Shanto is, well, there's two. The first would be that we had 20% voter turnout. And then over the time that he's been in our district, it's dropped to 10%. I think his style for it being quiet may have felt, had people feeling left out. And also, he has voted along with the Republicans a lot of the time. And I don't know that go along to get along quiet politics is going to work anymore. So whoever comes out of this, I think we need to have a different style. And that's what I'll say.
I'm fairly confident, Ashley, that whoever comes out of this, that you and I both will have a different style.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I'm pretty
because-
confident of
yeah.
that, and I would agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the votes show it. So, yeah.
So I give each of you a couple of minutes, no hard timeline, but a couple of minutes for a closing statement. I think I got thrown off. I was going to let Ashley go last because of the way we started, vice versa. So however you guys want to do it.
Well, Laura, if you want to you do it, you go ahead. We've been doing the two thing anyway.
This has been one of the most heartening and enlightening experiences of my life to run for this office and to engage in this campaign, to meet all these people and to get a sense of who this community is. I know this community better than I ever knew it in my 20 years here, because just simply talking to people on their front porch. And I have reframed how I think about campaigns, candidates, and the role of civil servants. And I see it now, really, I see the primary role as representing whoever elected you. And the secondary role is, I think it's safe to assume that if one elected you, then you can use your judgment on how you vote and on what issues you push forward or engage in. So the issues that I've mentioned on my website are pay, which we've already talked about that. My supporter plan Rutherford, we've talked about that. And my opposition to Middle Point landfill, which that hasn't even come up tonight. That is a serious issue impacting our district, because whether we smell it or not, do you drink the water? And so it's impacting you. I have actively worked with a neighborhood group in opposition to that and learned a lot in that neighborhood group work, that nonpartisan neighborhood group that we worked. And I unequivocally oppose the expansion of Middle Point landfill, and I oppose the extension of the contract by Republic Services. The final thing on my website, these are sort of the 4 pillars, if you want to call it that. I want to see more collaborative work between Rutherford County government and Murfreesboro City. There are duplication of services, and I think there are better ways to use fiscal resources if they share the work and find ways that they can work together. I've had conversations. I had one this morning. I'm having one next week with people asking, are the 2 governments working together? When I asked the question the last time, I didn't even get to finish the question until they said, no, they're not working together. And we just have an opportunity there for 2 governments that live together to find ways to work together and not work in silos. You know, the Murfreesboro City silo and the Rutherford County surrounding silo, but never do the 2 mix. So those 4 things are my issues on my website. And however, the bottom line issue is that I want to speak, I want to listen to constituents, and I want to speak on their behalf. And I want to be responsive to the people who voted for me if it comes to pass. So that is my approach. I think that's all I have to say because Matt is easing over toward me. I see it out of the corner of my eye. So Matt, thank you for doing this tonight. It was really a good thing for us, and thank you for it, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's also an issue about the not working together. And like you said, the 2 don't meet, except when they do, it's like when the developers are like, hey, I can help you. You know what I mean? So there's that. And for me, again, I think what we need is co-governance. And I think that means for me, making sure that not only is District 21 or voters, residents there, a part of the decision-making process. I would also like to see the county commission and even the city council do something like renter committees. The people, we have issues that we need to solve, and I think the people best suited to solve those issues are the ones closest to it. So if you're a renter, there should be a renters committee that you can go to and could have some, authority in guiding policy that shapes our everyday lives. Same thing for any like, think about it. Basically what I'm running on is the possibilities are endless for us to solve a lot of the issues if we can just work together and get a little creative about doing it. And for me, I think one thing that I would love to do is, again, it's co-governance, like bringing people in who have those lived experiences to help me figure out what do we need to do to address X, Y, and Z.
That's it. Everybody can mingle around for a little bit. I really appreciate Laura, Ashley. Thank you very much. Let's see. Early voting starts next Thursday. April 15th. What's the last day of early voting? 30. Thank you. You would think I would know that, right? And then the election day is on May the 5th. And of course, the winner will be the Democratic nominee on the August 6th ballot. With all of our other county commission candidates and our school board candidates and city council candidates and anything local else you can think of.
I'd like to recognize any other candidates in the room. Could we do that?
Sure.
Candidates.
Yeah.
Candidates?
Got any other candidates? Stand up.
Candidates.
Come on, take Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here tonight, and drive home safe.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you.